Hello those watching the replay, and welcome to this video. Today I'm talking about adrenal fatigue. We're going to talk about some insulin, cortisol, body fat, belly fat mainly, and stress, kind of how it's all related, and especially during this midlife phase and beyond, what you can do about it, why it happens. This is something that most women in midlife or beyond have probably dealt with or didn't even know they were dealing with. And because it's most people are now too busy, too stressed, and don't take enough time for themselves, and don't take enough time for rest and relaxation. And also, if you're not getting enough sleep, this could really be something that brings all this on for you. And then you end up with the belly fat, you end up fatigued, tired, frustrated. Nothing seems to work to get the weight loss off, and you have very low energy. So it's really brutal. That's why it's such an important topic that I wanted to speak about. Just going into my Facebook group to let them know I'm live. And if you are watching this on replay, please make sure that to let me know you've watched. Do a like, a love, make a comment, say hello, because if you don't, Facebook thinks you don't want to see my videos and it won't show you them. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, hello and welcome. So happy that you are here. Also, come and join my Facebook community, Women Creating Healthy Lives, as well as Instagram, Diana Marchand 50. That's 50. And my website, dianamarchand.com, where I don't do much. I will post about new programs when I have one running, which is coming. Okay, let's just go. I'm in my group. I better get in my group first. So this is such an important topic, and I think that people don't take it as seriously as they should, because it's something that not many people talk about, and it's harder to understand, and it's not something that your doctor would ever talk to you about. Never, probably never. So don't go to, just so you know, your doctor most likely will not know about any of this stuff at all, unless they choose themselves to look into it and study it on the side. They are not taught this in medical school. They will not know. So don't go to them for answers, especially adrenal fatigue. They're going to tell you it's silly, it's not really real, just get more rest or something like that, right? They won't have any idea how to help yourself, or even how to know if you have it. So I'd love to know below, if you're watching live or in the replay, do you know what adrenal fatigue is? Have you heard of it? And do you know what it really is? Okay, I know it's Friday night. I kind of just decided I wanted to do this today. I didn't want to wait until Saturday morning, but anybody can watch it anytime. So insulin resistance, I'm getting it all mixed up. Adrenal fatigue is it's something that you can be diagnosed with, usually by a naturopath or one of those functional medicine doctors, or somebody who knows more natural ways. It is when your adrenal glands, so you have adrenal glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they help produce the hormones in your body. So when you are going through perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, and you are not producing estrogen as much anymore or at all, your adrenal glands are meant to pick up the work. So they can produce hormones. So when your ovaries are producing less and less estrogen, your adrenal glands are supposed to pick up the extra work and produce the estrogen for you. So therefore your body will stay in better balance. Now, we know maybe hundreds or so years ago, people didn't experience many menopause symptoms. Also because they did not, I know we can say they had stress in their lives, but often their stress was here. They had a lot of stress, but then they relaxed, slept, and took care of themselves. They didn't consistently have stress every single day for years, right? And that's what's going on now. So when women did experience stress before, then they allowed themselves to have time to recover, to rest. They weren't working full time. Their kids were usually out of the house at this time. And the long winters and stuff were times when they really did rest and rejuvenate and take care of themselves, right? Even though they worked hard during the day. Big difference between the way things were then and the way things are now. Also, we have many more stresses going on in our life and within our body because of environmental toxins, because of all the social media, everything and definitely because of the mainstream media, which tells nothing but lies. So I would not watch the mainstream media. But so mainstream media and the way the social media is now add a lot of stress to people without you maybe even realizing it, as well as lots of the television shows that are on now, which are very high stress, high violent. They really make your nervous system react a lot, even though you don't notice it. It could be you're in a stressful environment at work. It could be that you're in a stressful environment at home, and maybe all of that together, which really double stress. So your adrenal gland, when you consistently are under a lot of stress, your body produces a lot of cortisol, right? Cortisol. And cortisol can actually lead to also insulin problems. And we know that problems with insulin often and usually do cause belly fat. So this is the link between cortisol and insulin. And when you have high cortisol, you actually have usually low melatonin, right? Which helps you sleep, rest, recuperate. So high cortisol, low melatonin. So people who actually have high cortisol a lot usually have problems sleeping. And another thing is if you're having chronic sleep problems, you're going to have high cortisol, right? So they totally work together. There's really like which comes first, chicken or the egg. It doesn't matter. Whichever, if you're having a problem with one, you're probably having a problem with the other. As well as consistent problems with stress, high cortisol, and high insulin cause thyroid issues. So you can see where this is all leading. Belly fat, tired, fatigue, feeling worn out, overly stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, and then bonking. So when your there's different phases of the adrenal fatigue. At first, when your adrenals are producing so much cortisol, you'll feel like boom, boom, boom. All this energy is coming at you, and all of a sudden you'll feel like so much energy while I'm experiencing so much energy. But then the problem is that becomes too much. And when you have cortisol, like you can end up in like what's called a cortisol resistance, where nothing works to help your body. And what it can lead to is that so much of the food that goes into your body actually ends up as fat when that can happen. Insulin resistance and cortisol resistance and inflammation and pain within the body, a whole bunch of health problems. Where was I going this? Totally forgot. So the insulin. Oh, right. At first, you're having a lot of cortisol being pumped, and then your adrenal glands are tired and exhausted, and they can't do their job anymore. So pretty soon they can't produce cortisol very well. So then your energy starts to plummet. You start to get very tired. Very, very tired. You may have a little more energy in the night. Hi, Heidi. A little bit energy at night, but then during the day or first thing in the morning, you are exhausted. You can barely get out of bed in the morning, and during the day, you can barely get by. You drink tons of coffee to stay awake, but that doesn't even keep you awake anymore, right? You're just feeling so burnt out, so tired. And that'll go for a long time. That affects your moods. You can get depressed. You can feel really down, unmotivated, uninspired, not even wanting to take care of yourself. Then when you get in real low insulin adrenal fatigue, it leads to apathy, where you literally almost have no emotions. This is where I was. I ended up in a severe adrenal fatigue, and I went to a naturopath, and she said, you are in extreme adrenal fatigue. I was completely apathetic. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. I felt completely flat. I was exhausted all the time. I was drinking lots of coffee during the day just to stay awake, and that wasn't happening. I didn't know what to do because at this low adrenal fatigue. I was also a personal trainer. So I was working with clients, a one-on-one studio, and that was extremely hard because I had no energy. And I was trying to work out and pretend I was okay. Big dark circles under my eyes. And I also only have half a thyroid, so that made my thyroid problems act up big time. So it just all escalated, and my whole body shut down pretty much. I had to quit being a personal trainer. I had severe pain in my body also. So I was like, it just bonked me right out. And this was all happening, guys, when I was going through perimenopause. The big changes in your life when you're already having the over-emotional and the emotional ups and downs and the memory problems and the brain fog and the digestive problems. Because all of that, when that's happening in your body, that's just more stress for your body. And then I was also working out really hard because I was a personal trainer. Plus I was running. Plus I was mountain biking. Plus I was doing adventure races. Too much stress is too much stress. So I bonked out, and a lot of people don't realize that, you know, you may have been able to do all these things in your 30s, even early 40s, but when your body begins to do the midlife phase changes and your hormones begin to fluctuate and change, and, you know, some decrease faster than others and all those things, they do cause so many health problems and changes within your body, and they add to extra stress within your body. So if you're already having a stressed life, and then you add this whole menopause change on top of that, that's just more stress, and your body cannot handle it. It can't handle it. This is a phase when we are supposed to take better care of ourselves. So let's talk about some of the things that can trigger adrenal fatigue. And I wrote some things down. Did I start writing it on here? Or I have so many notes and then I didn't. They're all over the place. I know this stuff really well, but I just didn't want to forget something. So things that can trigger insulin resistance for sure are, I wrote that down for sure. I know that. Here we go. Well, not sleeping enough. And insulin and adrenal fatigue can cause you not to sleep. This is what happens with my hair. So if you're not sleeping enough, your body has no time to rest and rejuvenate, and you probably will end up in adrenal fatigue also if you're under this much stress, right? Chronic lack of sleep, too much caffeine. So if somebody is drinking a lot of caffeine, and this often happens when you do have low energy, they try to drink a lot of caffeine to kind of increase their energy, keep going through the day, do what they got to do, because it'll deplete your vitamin B, B1, calcium, and potassium. So what you really need, the supplements, is you need a lot more supplements during this phase of your life. You need to bump up your supplements, your super powders, your nutrition like crazy. This is what I ended up having to do in adrenal fatigue. I went to a naturopath, and yes, I paid hundreds of dollars for my supplements. I also was on super powders. I changed what I ate, organic, veggies, greens, super highly nutritious foods, because your body needs more nutrition. You cannot not feed it. You will not get better, right? No exercise. So when you don't exercise, so if you sit at a job, if you sit at a desk for long periods of time and you really never exercise day upon day upon day, plus you're dealing with stress, all this stress in your body and all this energy, this extra energy in your body has nowhere to go. And if you're not releasing it and letting it go and releasing it in a healthy way, de-stressing, then that's going to lead to more and more breakdown within your body. So the type of exercise when you're in adrenal fatigue, high stress and tired and exhausted, all that, is things that help you feel good, like a walk in nature or walk around the block, you know, walking in the trees, walking by the water. You're not going to want to do a lot of crazy exercise when you're tired, fatigued, and you have adrenal fatigue. Not at all. You need to take care of you, right? So if somebody's experiencing chronic stress, as I've already stated, that will definitely cause adrenal fatigue. And that could come from, let's say, if you've had a bad accident. So sudden stress or trauma, right? Or a shock can cause adrenal fatigue. Surgery can do it. Low amount of nutrients, which I already talked about. So the nutrients you really, really need a lot of are vitamin C, B1, zinc, magnesium, potassium, and vitamin D. Everybody should be taking 6,000 to 7,000. That's just kind of a regular number of vitamin D a day for sure. So zinc, really, really important all the time. Magnesium, really important all the time. Of course, vitamin D also. And vitamin C. All of these things we should be having all the time. I take a vitamin C powders, Camu Camu or Baobab powder, both very, very high in vitamin C. And they are a natural vitamin C from, that is a plant or their fruit. And they are just ground up. And so it's a pure plant food form. It's not just a synthetic or a ascorbic acid one. So I like to get my vitamins from food or from super powders that are pure food. I grind pumpkin seeds, organic pumpkin seeds up and add them to my smoothies and stuff. They are high in zinc and good in protein and good in fats, right? So potassium, avocados, Bananas have potassium, but yes, avocados have more potassium. Avocados are fantastic. So make sure you're getting vitamin C, B1, zinc, magnesium, potassium, and vitamin D, of course. Potassium is really important, so make sure doing that. So you might even want to get a really good high quality multivitamin, or just get these single vitamins like potassium, zinc. And then I take extra magnesium myself always, every day, have for a long time, because I've always had digestive stuff. And a way that, if the way not to eat if you have any of this going on, and anyways, in midlife, it's always a good idea not to have a lot of starchy carbohydrates or refined carbohydrates or simple carbohydrates. You want to get away from those things like breads, muffins, all of those things, anything made with the flours, right? Pastas, anything like that. You want to have very minimal of them, even the gluten-free. Especially gluten-free stuff is very, very high in like the really bad starches. So that's what you want to kind of really decrease. Crackers, cookies, things like that are just rice cakes that are simple carbohydrates. You eat them, they break down really fast, go into sugar, and go right to fat, right? Oil of oregano is really good for because chronic infection and inflammation in the body can cause adrenal fatigue also. I take oil of oregano every time I feel maybe I might be catching something. It's not too often, and I never know sometimes if it's just a dry throat, but as soon as my throat gets dry and scratching, so I'm taking oil of oregano, and I have been healthy for over 2 years. So I use oil of oregano, plus I also take very high quality, very high amounts of nutrients, and I eat extremely healthy foods, but I still eat some of the other foods, guys. I will have a cider, I will have French fries, I will have pizza. I have to have gluten-free, but I will have that. Like, I will do things like that. I will. I just don't eat them a lot. They're just a very smaller part of my diet. So it doesn't mean you have to give up forever, all the time. Oh my God, completely sacrifice taste, or sacrifice loving your food, or sacrifice going out with friends. No, you don't. Right? No, you don't. So what is fat and insulin? So like I said, high cortisol tends to lead to high insulin. High insulin can also affect your cortisol levels and your thyroid. So there's so many things that are interlinked and interrelated, right? And so when you have too high insulin, what can happen is most of the food you eat then ends up going into fat, belly fat, right? When also your adrenal glands are tired from the stress, from the not being fed properly, so not enough nutrients in your diet, not enough good sleep, too much coffee, too much of that. When your adrenal glands get tired like that, they cannot produce the hormones properly. So what else can produce good hormones? And estrogen is belly fat, right? Belly fat. So then your body, again, also puts more fat on your belly, as well as the food you're eating, because you are high in cortisol and insulin resistance. All of that also makes everything you eat tend to go to fat anyways. Your body actually uses good muscle and protein and converts it to fat. So there's so much that goes on. And I think the important underlying message here is you need to take care of yourself. If you are under consistent stress in your life, if you are eating too many of the bad foods, too much sugar, drinking too much wine, having too much alcohol, not eating nutrient-dense foods, like not having enough nutrients, all of that, not sleeping well, your body is in danger. Your body's in danger. Your life's in danger. We talk a lot about, people are so worried right now about, catching that, ignoring other things in life that are so important for your health, right? As in good food and decreasing stress. Getting away from the worry, the fear. Stop listening to things that bring fear into your world, right? Take care of yourself. Tune off, tune out of things that you don't need to listen to, and start taking care of yourself. I think we've got it, we've got it so wrong, whereas we're working to death just to make money to live. right? When we need to live really well and make money to live well and eat well. We can do both. We can live well, eat well, and still work. Don't put the work first. It's not all or nothing. It's not one or the other. And I've heard this so often. So often. It's not one or the other. Well, I'm working so much, I just don't have time. My life is too busy. I just don't have time. I don't know what to do. And then you end up sick, or you end up heavy. You cannot get rid of the weight. You've said you tried everything. You said you're doing everything. You said that nothing works. On and on and on. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. You must make changes for things to change and stick to them. And be in the space of, wow, I know that I want and I'm going to choose to do the best for me, the best for my health, for my well-being, which is going to affect all my relationships. This is going to affect how I feel, my emotions during the day, my moods, how I can help people, how productive I am, right? The happiness in my life. All of that is affected by your health and wellness, body, mind, and soul, right? If you are in adrenal fatigue right now, your body is talking to you loud. It's not going to naturally recover. You cannot say, wait, I will wait one day when I have more time to deal with that. You will have time to deal with it because your body will stop on you. As in what happened with me. Everything will start to shut down and you will get so sick you won't be able to work. Right? Or like major disease and illness will happen. Stress is the cause of all disease and illness. All of it. All of it. Every single thing. It can be linked back to stress in your body, on your body. So that's how important this is, right? Adrenal fatigue is a huge sign that you need to make some powerful life changes. And it doesn't have to be quit your job, leave your relationship, leave your family. It doesn't have to be any of that. It's by starting to make the right changes, eating better, eating more nutritious foods, getting more sleep, taking some supplements, super powder, so really getting all of that correct. And I can help you with that in my programs, and you will learn that within the first 1 to 2 weeks and have it down. You will have it down. You will know. Then you continue with that. You just continue. And you work on, right, powerful, loving boundaries within your life so that you have time for yourself. You learn to love yourself, to honor yourself, to treat yourself well, to know why, to respect your body, right? To stop the guilt, to ask for help if you need to, all of those things. It's really a change, the physical, all of parts of you, right? By really realizing, oh my God, like I have let my body down, but that's okay. It can't handle all that it used to. And the more I don't take care of it, the worse it's going to get. So it's time for me to step up and take responsibility and decide that I am worth it. I am worthy, right? And show, like sometimes we think, well, I have to do this. You will not be good for anybody if you're not healthy, if you're not feeling good, if you're depressed, if you're down, if you're exhausted, if you're sick, all of those things, right? So if you're somebody who's worried about other people, you have to first take better care of yourself. Absolutely, positively. Because it's not until then that you can be really good with others, right? Okay, so I hope it's a lot. It was a lot of information and it's a lot. I was hoping that you guys would have questions, but there wasn't very many people on. So if you have questions, post them in the comments below. Absolutely. And let me know, right? Because this is really important. That you start taking care of this. I listed the supplements that you need to really worry about increasing. And of course, we're always talking about the super powders, you know, getting a really good quality mixed green powder with only about 6 ingredients. Don't go for the big ones with all that crappy ingredients in them. Or just take spirulina and get baobab or camu for vitamin C. Right? Make sure you're taking your zinc. Make sure you're taking your vitamin D. Get some potassium, some magnesium. Do those things for you. Start eating more veggies, more greens, 2 green smoothies a day, less coffee, water with lemon in the morning, hydrate, get out into nature, nice walks, do some relaxing yoga. Get off the computers and the phones so much, because those things really can also aggravate and pump up the cortisol and deplete melatonin, can really decrease melatonin. The blue light from the computers, from the bad lighting in offices and stuff, and from our phones, they can, and then that you won't sleep well either. So don't sleep with don't have your phone or your computer anywhere near where you're sleeping, things like that too. We are just bombarded with so much now, and I haven't even talked about the toxins in our food and the preservatives and the off-gassing of rugs, plastics, furniture right now. There's a lot that our body needs to handle. We need to treat it better, or it won't be able to handle everything. And reach out to me. I do one-on-one coaching. I have one session. You can buy just one session with me. You can buy 3, 5, 6, as many as you want. We can work in a way that works for you. Just please start doing something for you. All right. So much love to you. Bye-bye.